This is Kill the Truth. It was created by Hannah and Lucy Duvall and Eleanor Hicks, and directed by Hannah Duvall and Eleanor Hicks. It's performed and created by the youth group of the United Players of Walderslade. We hope you enjoy.
The year is 1852, a year of terror and death. The night we set foot in is a cold and unforgiving one. Along Chestnut Avenue, the gas lights flicker and some cats howling could be heard from a distance. A tall silhouette limps up the road, casting an ominous glow on the dirt-ridden cobbles. Suddenly, a dog barks, frightening the silhouette and causing them to shuffle away from the loud noises so as not to draw attention to themselves, begging the bright moon not to expose their true identity. But at the same time, giving off dangerous threats to the darkness to stay silent or else.
Dear Diary, tonight's the night. Tonight's the night where I can begin a new life and start anew. I've already told you, Diary, but I will tell you again, for I cannot hold my excitement. Tonight I begin my new job in my new hometown with a fresh new look on life. Before, I was wrapped in a cocoon of lies and deceit, and now I am free to do as I please without thinking of the pain it will inflict upon those who wish to manipulate me. I am a free woman, and there is no one to control me. At 8, I leave for my beguiling beginning. It is overwhelming how quickly this has all happened. Ever since the ball I felt unhappy, knowing that in a few days I would have to marry that pompous ridicule of a man. But now I am free to take my life in my own hands and go where I wish. I have nothing left to lose except my dreams, and I am holding on to them with every fibre of my body, and will never let them go. I must bid you good night, as I am to leave soon. Wish me luck. Love, Ada. Elle, I have something to tell you.
What?
I'm running away.
What? Is this really what you want, Ada?
Yes. I can't stay and marry this fool of a man. It might just end up killing me. Just the thought of him and I makes me shudder. I can't do it. Do you really think I would want to marry that awful man? If I ever was to marry, it would be for love, not out of convenience.
I'm going to miss you so much. All of our tea parties, us watching plays together, playing in Mama's garden when we were younger.
So will I. But you must understand that I cannot go through with this. You must stay strong with me, please.
I do understand. I do. Go then. Go live the life you've always wanted. The life I will never have.
What do you mean?
I'm to be married in a few weeks.
Why didn't you tell me?
I didn't want to worry you or let you down. I don't wish for the life I've been given, but I know it would break dear Mother's heart if I refused it. Also, I love him, Ada. I love him with all my heart, and I can understand if that's not the life you choose, but for once, I'm happy.
Then I shall be happy for you too, for when you are happy, I too must accept your choices and be joyous too. It is not that I do not choose marriage. It is that I haven't found the right man, which is why I must leave before my father pushes me into the arms of any man that would accept me, as if I was part of some business proposition.
And I, to you, must accept yours and insist you leave before you regret it.
Goodbye, Eleanor. I wish you all the luck in the world.
And I, to you. Dear Diary, today was like every other day. I wake up, I look after my child, do the chores, and go to bed. Another ordinary day for an ordinary woman. The only thing that's memorable about my existence is my son, James. My stunning boy is my world. However, he has recently developed a seemingly incurable disease. He has a constant fever. He vomits and retches frequently and has lost all feeling in his limbs. We just carry on like normal, and I pray with every inch of my body that he will one day return to his usual bubbly self. One day he will be able to be a normal child and play on the streets with his friends. He'll fall over, graze his knee, and come to me crying. He'll finally get the childhood he deserves, and I won't have to feel guilty about his illness ever again. However, it is all a dream A dream that is impossible to come true, unless God performed a true miracle. God does act in strange ways. He caused us pain and sorrow, but it must be for a reason, otherwise he wouldn't do it, would he? I must have faith in him and his actions, otherwise what else do I have? Love, Elsie. I wish there was something I could do.
There's nothing more we can do. We can only hope and pray for his recovery.
I know. I wish there was something I could do. I can't sit by and watch him die in front of me.
Well, I have been saving up to get James some medicine from Dr. Smith. I could go down tonight if you like.
No, I will go. He is my son and I want to do this for him. I want to do the best I can for him, even if it's just this. I don't care if it gets me hurt. I want our son to have a life outside of sickness. Do you remember when he wouldn't have a care in the world? When he would brighten our lives just by smiling? Now, he can't even move. He told me yesterday when we had a moment of peace that he feels like a burden. A burden, Oliver. Please, let me do this. I will be back before you know it. Please.
Very well. I will stay here while you go out.
Thank you. Dear Diary, I am full of despair. The doctor said he has never seen symptoms like James's before, and has no medicine that he's willing to give him, or is in our measly budget. I have no idea what I'm going to do, because he gets worse and worse every day, and I don't know how I'll move on if he doesn't make a full recovery. I only wish that God would answer my prayers instead of ignoring them, so that he can give us hope, to me and to Oliver, that we can, once again, be a normal family. We were so happy. I remember like it was yesterday, when James was running around, giggling as if nothing could make him cry. Now, everything's different. I don't know if his family will ever recover if we lose him. I wish Oliver was here right now, and he could wrap his arms around me and tell me everything's going to be alright. But he is not. That's why I love him, though. He is one of the only men still in existence that can give me at least some independence. Anyway, I met this man called Jack, who was a wonderful gentleman, in the waiting room, who offered to walk me home, considering the sky is now black and I do not feel safe walking around these now dangerous streets. I should have listened to Oliver though. However, Jack was nice enough to offer, and I gladly accepted. I am now on my way home. I don't know how Oliver will take this heartbreaking news. Wish me luck, Diary. Love, Elsie.
Good morning, Mrs. Dawson. I'm sorry to call you at such short notice, but you have important information on Elsie Smith's death. We require you to only tell the truth. We're not suspecting you at this current time, so do not panic. So, what were you doing the night of the incident?
Well, I was putting out my washing when I heard a thud on the other side of the fence. At the time, I didn't think anything of it until about an hour later when I heard a young child scream. I rushed around the alleyway in which I heard the scream to find a young lady whom I recognised as my neighbour Elsie. She was in a bad state, so I yelled for help. Several people came running, but it was her husband who came the fastest. He sprinted up the alley, looking really pale. You couldn't possibly think it was him. He was in almost the same state as the poor girl by the time he found out what happened to her. He was in floods of tears. I felt really sorry for him. He would have to raise James, her son, by himself now. It is a shame, really, because they were the nicest family on this street. It really is a great loss to the family. She was so young as well. I remember that her son was sick and she was always tired and constantly had grey bags under her eyes. They didn't deserve this.
Thank you. Do you think that she would have had a motive to kill herself, or had she had any fights with anyone recently?
No, she may not have been entirely happy with her family life, but she would never kill herself. She was always stressed about her son, so I don't think that she would have wanted to leave him. She would have wanted to be there and look after him. She would do anything for that little boy, absolutely anything. I don't believe that any part of her death was her fault. She never made any enemies, so her death to me is a complete mystery.
Thank you for your time. I apologise if I've caused you distress of any kind, but we need to cover all possibilities. We'll bring you in if we have any more questions.
Thank you, officer. I'm happy to help. I hope you catch the culprit.
The sun climbs high up into the bright blue sky, looking down at the sleeping town below. It sneers down at the world, as if it knows today was going to break an entire town's heart and spirit. It will leave them in a frozen state of shock that can never be thawed. It will turn friends into enemies, families against each other, and pollute light with its darkness. The sun knows that it is rising on a day that no one will ever forget, and begins to taunt the people with its rays of light, coaxing them out of bed. The hustle and bustle of markets soon come after, people running around and shouting, causing commotion. And there, amongst the hustle and bustle, was a young woman called Ada, a free young spirit who escaped a lifetime of captivity from her parents, only to be led into a darker path. Get your first eggs here! Eggs! All at low prices!
Bread! Nice warm bread! Freshly baked this morning. Get your bread here.
Get your pretty dresses here. Your husband will love it when you turn up looking as pretty as a flower.
You, miss!
Who? Me?
Yes, you, madam. What's your name, young lady?
Ada, sir.
Well, today's your lucky day, Ada. Today and today only, I'm giving you a special offer. I'll give you 2 eggs in return for a kiss.
No, I'm sorry, sir, but I can't do that. I'm not that sort of person. Have a good day. Dear Diary, I'm at the train station, and I'm going home. I can't do this running away thing. It's just so hard, and I miss my nice warm bed. I miss my family, and I can't imagine how they took to my sudden departure. However, I don't know if they'll take me back, or if I truly want to go back. I know that I definitely do not want to get married and live a very simple life. However, my survival depends on whether I can gather enough money to buy food for another day, which isn't going very well due to me losing the job that I previously had secured, which I will not go into now. I just don't know what to do. However, on a lighter note, I've just met this very nice man, named Jack, who's a wonderful gentleman. Having missed my train, writing to you, Diary, Jack has offered to take me to a hotel where I shall stay the night and make a decision in the morning whether to go or stay. Love, Ada.
Good morning, Mr. Hicks. I'm sorry to call you in at such short notice, but you have important information on Ada John's death. As you're the landlord of the hotel in which she was found, we require you to only tell the truth. We are not suspecting you as of yet, so do not panic. So, what were you doing the night of the incident?
Well, I was just going to bed after a busy day of work when I heard someone pleading with someone to stop. I presumed it was just one of the female night workers in one of my rooms in the hotel with an overeager partner, so I knocked on the door and told them to be quiet. and all was silent after that. By that point I was exhausted, so I was happy with the peace and quiet, and now had the ability to finally get some sleep. The next thing I heard was one of the cleaning ladies screaming for help and shouting, "Murder! Murder!" So naturally, I jumped out of bed, and after putting on a dressing gown, I sprinted to where all the fuss was coming from. At first, I didn't know what to make of the scene. After a while, my eyes focused, and I came to realise what was happening. On the bed was a young girl. She can't have been older than 20. She had 2 deep gashes in her neck, and her abdomen had been slashed open. She was in an awful state. The bedsheets were all stained red, and the window had been smashed with glass all over the floor, and in the street below. I didn't know what to do for a second, but after a minute, I sprung into action. I phoned the police immediately, before ushering all the other hotel guests away from the door, where they had congregated to see what was going on.
Thank you, Mr. Hicks. That was very helpful for the inquiry. Do you know what time you heard the cleaning lady scream?
I think it was around 8 in the morning, because I remember hearing the milkman dropping the milk off, and that's the time he usually does it.
Very good. You're free to go, sir. We'll bring you in for more questioning if needed.
Thank you, officer. Good day. The year is 1852, a year of terror and death. The morning we set foot in is a cold and unforgiving one. Along Chestnut Avenue, the gas lights flicker, and the sound of wind howling could be heard from the chimney tops. The moon shone brightly as it casted a silver spotlight onto the streets. It was as if it was trying to purify any evil within its reach, but the cloud seemed to be its enemy this particular night, and blocked out the only hope of light, leaving the night one of the darkest ever recorded. The streets seemed to be completely void of life, leaving the cobbles craving the company that it usually had during the day, as people bustled around the town. Apart from one figure. A tall silhouette limped down the road, trying to battle against the ferocious wind that attacked everyone in its path, as well as trying to keep his identity hidden from anyone who might be passing by. He tugs the collar of his coat closer, as the heavy rain now flooded the streets, washing the blood off of his black soul.